Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're talking about how to get the countryside look. So I've lived in the countryside just about all my life, and I can assure you farmers don't look like the image that's portrayed on media. They don't run around wearing barbers and wearing trilby hats all the time, or in fact the most exotic of gun boots. But from time to time they do dress up and they do wear nice clothes for certain events. For example, traditional shooting, you'll see people wearing +4s, tweed suits, and they'll be wearing brogue shoes. They will be wearing, with those +4s, wool socks with tassels on them, and it's not uncommon to see that, including deerstalker hats. But generally in the day-to-day life of a farmer, in reality it's dressed like this, covered in mud, and generally a pair of jeans, working boots, and they're out in all weathers, so their wax jackets aren't pristine condition. They've been worn to hard and extreme conditions. So, setting to one side, there is this Sloane Square farmer. Now around here the countryside is part of life, and rural workers are few and far between now because of the level of automation. But from time to time somebody will come up from London and buy a farm. Now they'll buy the farm not knowing anything about how it works, and they like the image of walking around being the man of the manor, the man of the countryside. So they will employ a farm manager to do all the work for them, but they can drive around in their four-wheel drives and Land Rovers, and they will drive around in those wearing all the right things, their barber jackets that have never seen rain or inclement weather, and they'll be wearing their finest outfits. So that's two extremes there I'm talking about. But today I'm going to tread that weary path right between the middle, where we are dressed for the countryside, but we're not going to be that Sloane farmer. So I'm going to talk you through a few outfits that might help you look a little bit more and feel a bit more like you're in the countryside. Typically the colour scheme to look for, the palette, is going to be burgundies, mustard yellows, olive greens, navy blues, burnt oranges maybe, and a lot of tweed, as well as browns that come into it as well. If you're going to get a wax jacket, maybe a brown or an olive green one. So let's crash on to the first image. So here's a very casual countryside vibe, and here we're wearing a cotton shirt button down, and we're wearing a tweed jacket, pocket square, picking up some of the lighter colours that you might find in the shoes, wearing a typical brown, light brown strap watch to go with the shoes, and a blue face on that, but to go in with the shirt. So as you can see, we're wearing it with jeans, and not a brilliant way, but you could swap the jeans out for a pair of chinos quite easily. Navy chinos would go really well with this look, or even in the summer months a lighter colour blue. But it's not a bad look. Those country brogues being worn there as well, and I think overall it's not a bad representation of a casual countryside vibe. So here we have a typical country look. Woolen jumper, 100% lamb's wool, quite a thick one, really keeps the warmth in. We're using a button-down shirt and a red cravat with a paisley pattern on it, and we've paired that with a pair of dark blue chinos and a pair of chestnut brogue shoes. Goes really well with the countryside and being in the countryside, and we could always pair that when the weather gets a little bit inclement with a quilted jacket, and could even try that haydock trilby as well. And yeah, overall not a bad look, I think, and especially for the more wintry autumn period of the year. But that's a countryside look. So on this occasion we're wearing a cream shirt and we're wearing some tobacco coloured chinos, and changed the colour of the pocket square to give it a little bit more of a pairing with the actual chinos. We're still wearing those Loke chestnut brogues, and we've actually got on here similar coloured leather strap on the watch, but we've got blue face dial, more relaxed look or vibe coming from the watch. But overall quite a nice aesthetic again, not dissimilar to the previous one. The only elevation is really in the chinos, which gives it a little bit more of a refined look, one could argue. So here's another country look. We've got a tweed jacket here, picking up some burgundies, blues and some navies in there, and picked up those colours in the pocket square. We're wearing a burgundy velvet waistcoat, off-white shirt. Could wear a cravat with this, could even wear a tie with this, or you could wear it more casually like as I am now. Wearing some navy blue chinos with this and some brown brogue shoes. And overall not a bad vibe, quite a relaxed feel to it and quite a casual look. Great for those evenings where you want to dress a little bit up, just to go out for the evening for a meal or a meet with friends, and maybe something like this might do the trick for you. Here's the use of a waistcoat, and it's a tweed waistcoat and a slight herringbone pattern on it with a cross check in it, and picked up some of those oranges in the actual tie itself, and not a bad look for that country vibe. Quite typically a waistcoat, tweed waistcoat with a pair of, in this case, corduroy trousers and a pair of brogue shoes. Complements the overall look, and but this is more of a casual look and quite often seen in the countryside, especially in the equestrian world. So put a barber jacket over the top of this if it gets a little bit inclement, and you're set for the day. So here we have a countryside suit wear, and we're wearing a burgundy tie with a white polka dot on it and a Victoria knot. Picked up the burgundy in the pocket square, but you'll notice the suit has got a brown and green plaid check on it, so it's quite a nice colour for the countryside, and we're wearing some brown brogues with that, and it comes together quite nicely. Even in this day and age you could still wear this and get good results from it when wearing a suit in the countryside. So here's another look with a wax jacket. This is a quilted wax jacket, chocolate brown, wearing a green velvet waistcoat. We're wearing a regimental tie or club tie, pale blue shirt, pair of chinos and a nice pair of chocolate brown Loke shoes. And not a bad look, gives you that instant country vibe. The wax jacket is synonymous with being in the countryside and could be weared with a trilby or a flat cap or anything like that, in addition to this overall look. So here's the final look, and this is almost turns itself on its head from the very first image we show you. We're wearing the same shirt, but instead of being open necked, we've actually put a tie with that And we've picked up the colours in the pocket square again. We've turned it around a little bit to show a different variation of colours. Still wearing the tweed jacket, but this time we've actually paired that with a pair of navy chinos and those conker coloured brogues. And not a bad look, quite typical of what you'd see in the countryside, especially in a rural town or village. And quite a nice aesthetic really. It does complement those earthy tones, and whilst the tie is more of a silk regimental look, it goes quite well, even though we're using a button-down shirt for this example. But unfortunately, button-down shirts with a tie is a look that's quite common nowadays, so it would be wrong for me not to cover it as an option for somebody to wear. So that's the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, then please feel free to do so. I'll put the link below so you can make that contribution. So until next time, take care.